Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Listen, guys, we are using a really cool streaming app called StreamYard. So in order for me and Sonya to see your questions, your comments, we need you guys to click on that link. You got to accept StreamYard so that way you can post comments and we know exactly who is here, and then it'll show your profile. So as you hop on, make sure, yay, hi, Dev! Wait a second, what time is it over there? Wait, it's 5:30, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10:30, okay, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's only 10:30 in Africa. Okay, not too bad. We've got Sangita here, Lean, who is Facebook user. Hi, I need you. I would love to know who that is. Make sure that you click on the link so that way I know who is here. It'll pop up your profile picture. Oh, it's gray? Okay. Yay. Make sure you click. Oh, it's 12:30 in the morning there? I got it wrong. Oh my gosh. Sonya, you're special. These girls it's 12:30 and they want to cheer you on and support you, girlfriends. Okay, who is excited? Make sure, guys, as you hop on, you click on that link so that StreamYard can show who is talking. We can see your profile, and that way we can have a little chit chat. I've got the comments coming up. So without further ado, I am so honored and humbled to introduce to you my very first guest. This woman has blown me away. Now, when I talk about showing up, she shows up. Ready, willing, able, armed with a tissue box and all, okay? Because this girl was ready for a transformation. She was ready for a transformation. And I'm just gonna let her share her story because I'm gonna start crying because I am so proud of this lady. You have no idea how proud I am of her. Hailing all the way from Saskatchewan, it's Miss Sonya! Woo! Hi! Guys, can you please throw up some hearts for Sonya? Throw up some fire. Our very first guest. I am so happy that you are making the time to share your story because you are one special lady, and I can't wait for you to share where you've been, where you are, and this is only the beginning of your journey, babe.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I would love, firstly, for you to tell a little bit about yourself, where you live. Obviously, I said Saskatchewan, and what was your life like before you became a member of the R3 family?
Okay. All right. So I'm in Saskatchewan. I'm a nurse. I work predominantly with seniors.
Okay, firstly, she's a nurse, guys. Can we please give her, guys, give her some fire. Give her a round of applause. She is one of our frontliners, guys. Please give her some hearts. This one deserves it. Awesome. Awesome. All through COVID, when it was like from the beginning, you were out there, right?
Yeah. Scared, but yeah, out there. We were scared. So I work with seniors, and I work with seniors that are going through rehab after surgeries, after strokes, and we are just trying to get them back home, get them back to their previous way of living, and get them strong, which is really sort of ironic that I myself was not there. So, what was life like at that time? I was really uncomfortable, super uncomfortable. And, when I knew it most was when I was looking at pictures. So I would try to look comfortable. You do all the things. You wrap stuff around you. You've got like all these different layers. My partner Chris would say that I was constantly wearing tablecloths. They were fancy scarves.
That was the fashion.
They were fancy scarves. Tablecloths, right? It's like, why are you wearing tablecloth? I was like, it hides things and it's colorful. But I mean, I really wasn't uncomfortable, and I would see myself in pictures, and despite doing all these things, I would see slobbiness. I would see tired. I would see honestly, I could see through myself even in the pictures. I was like, wow, you're just faking it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you could see that discomfort, right? My my energy level was like non-existent. So I work evenings, and so that's usually from 3 o'clock till 11:30 at night, usually longer, usually past midnight before you get out. And I'd come home, and even if I took like a sleeping pill or I read a book or whatnot and fall asleep, it was like all I could do to get up from at 10 a.m. So like 10 hours of sleep, and I was exhausted. And I would still, so I'd get up, do my thing, make my lunch, go off to the gym, I was still doing that stuff. And then I would come back, and then I would take a nap from like 1 till 2. I'm not even
Wow.
kidding. And like fast asleep. Like I'd have to set an alarm because I would be snoring. And so then I'd go to work. I'm not even kidding. And like other nurses have said the same thing to me, that they are just exhausted after evenings. For some reason, it's trickier than nights for a lot of us. And and then they're just wrecked. And then you spend a day after recovering still too. Anyways, I go on about that, but like I was really really exhausted, and I had developed sciatica in my left side of my body, and I had to go through physiotherapy for that. So here I am pushing med carts. I'm doing really physical things with these people, and I've got sciatica, and I'm trying not to show the pain. My back was always sore. My joints were sore. We, even though we're really physical, Chris and I, and the kids actually, and we love to be outdoors. We love hiking and all of that sort of thing. Those things were starting to be not enjoyable because I was in so much pain, and everybody had to wait for me. And
I was about to
you
say,
know,
did you feel like you were holding everybody back?
yes, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I had to use like walking sticks, and like my bag, it was so heavy. It
Yeah.
was so heavy.
Yeah.
Because you put everything on there, and you're packed for 5 days.
Yes. That's
Hiking.
that's that's
Yeah.
that's a task in itself, let alone
Mm,
carrying your own weight, right?
right.
And
And
so
then all that
you
extra weight. Yeah.
exactly. And so you
Mhm.
mentioned that you were going to the gym. So I'm assuming you were
Right.
still trying to do your own thing. How
Right.
how how was that going?
Uh, well, let me just say, like, I tried so many things through the years. I'd done, circuit training at the gym. I'd done, things like beach body. I did my own weight loss things. I did like really unhealthy things that I shouldn't have done, running, even though they were in a couple of minute sprints for hours. When you get on the treadmill, you just don't stop.
Yeah.
Um, Cabbage soup diets, like just stuff, you know what I mean?
All the quick
And
fixes.
right,
And did you
and
get any results from it?
so I would get results, and they would be like 10 pounds, 8 pounds. And then it would just come back if I stopped in the least, or I ate too much, and then little by little, I'd be like, yeah, I'm losing weight. And then it would come back, and then it's like a pound more than it was before,
Mm.
2 pounds more than it was before, you know? And I just remember, like, because there's scales all over the place at work, right? Because we're
Oh, of
bigger
course.
people, and we have dietitians
Oh
that
my
I don't
gosh.
have access to. So I would get on the scale every day before report and be like,
Oh,
"Ooh, I'm
you're
losing a few pounds."
torturing yourself.
Right? And then one day I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the heaviest I have ever been,"
Wow.
which for me was 175 pounds,
Yeah.
which was a lot.
Yeah.
I would, I think my frame and everything, I was a tiny person.
Yeah.
That's how I was built to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you knew of us for a long
Right.
time.
Yes.
And so what changed? What intrigued you to actually take the step and join R3?
Right. So yeah, you probably saw me creeping your pages for a long time.
That's okay. I welcome creepers. It's all good. That's why we give
Right.
away the free stuff. You know what,
Yeah.
guys? We're
Yeah.
here. We're helping
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And nobody was ever like, who's this girl? You know what I mean? Why is she liking stuff? So yeah, I've been watching probably for a few years. And just really what happened was that COVID hit. Um, and we were hearing about it, when you first initially heard about it in the news, and it was so
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
And I was going to work, and initially we didn't initially we didn't even have masks to wear. And so I
Wow.
was going to the gym and I thought, okay, I'm never going to be able to forgive myself
Yeah.
if I give this to somebody at work
Yes.
and that ends up being the cause of something horrible for them.
Yeah.
And I was just afraid for myself, even, and for my family. So I remember calling them up and saying I need to cancel, so I canceled. And then I contacted you and I was like, is there any way that I could please
Yes.
do some workouts with you guys?
Yep.
Because I'm getting fatter even still,
I just want to share here that Coach Janae is here, and she says, Sonya, I can relate to you so much. I'm so happy you are part of the R3 family, because definitely Coach Janae, she's done all the things,
Yes.
and so what really was the differentiator being a member of R3? Because you started off with, oh, can you help me do the workouts and whatnot, but what really was the game changer for you?
Okay. Okay. So I'm a talker, so I'm going to try not to go on too long about this, but I really say the coaching, and most specifically the life coaching. Okay. So really, like, I'd like to just tell a little bit of a backstory.
Yeah,
I know
please.
some people, I try to be open about this because I think that people that have suffered or deal with mental health issues,
Yeah.
we need to show that we are strong, that we hold down careers, and that there is no stigma. There should be no stigma. So if I go back, just 10 years ago, and it relates back to you, Crystal. I had been, even though dealing with since adolescence with depression, and had been told I was born with it, I would have it for life, I would have to medicate, and I would need to do the cognitive behavioral therapy, I would need psychology, I would need all of these things, right? And I kind of gone up and down with staying up with these things. And about 10 years ago, on top of that, I had gone through just a series of hard knocks, like we all do. We all do. Some people's are bigger, some people's are smaller, but it's relative to you, right? So for me, it was like the lowest point. So I had recently been separated, been divorced. This was, my childhood first real boyfriend, right? And he had left me, and we had lost the house to that. Okay. I had just started to go back to school to upgrade my nursing. So I had pared back on my work, and then I needed more work. And everywhere I was applying, they were cutting back. Like the hospitals at that point were cutting back. So I was underemployed. I didn't have the house. Um, my depression was like nasty. I'd moved into the same apartment that my grandfather was then living at. So, because I was trying to help him, he had lost his wife. So he was now a bachelor, and he was dealing with um, alcoholism as a result. So I would have to go and do checks with him, and I would feed him. I would like bring him food, but I wasn't eating. My brother came over and he opened the fridge, and it just went jingle, jingle, jingle. And he was like, Sonya, you have no food. It's all coolers and booze. And I mean, I kind of laugh at it, but literally, I would go to work when I had work. I would come home, I would order something in, or I'd get some fast food, and then I would drink. I would set my alarm. This is how, I was just hanging on by a thin thread. And I would set my alarm for the next morning for when I would have to go to work if I was working the next morning. And I would drink until I passed out.
Wow.
And anybody who knows me knows that I have like a 2 drink minimum, and I am like the life of the party, or you're taking care of me. And I got to the point where it was more than that 2 drinks. It was definitely a lot more. And I would pass out, and I would cry myself to sleep. I'm not even kidding. I'm not being dramatic. And I remember you reached out to me because I knew you for a long time. And it's interesting when you know somebody. I knew you from high school, and when you know somebody, you kind of always think of them, especially when you knew them as a kid, as a teenager, you think of them in those contexts. So I knew you as this performer, this singer, this, really outgoing person, but I didn't know you as a life coach. And you reached out to me, and you knew I was going through a horrible time, and you offered me some life coaching. And I can remember we started with just praying, and it was just the Our Father. Like we just started and you were like, do you want to pray? And I just did the R Father and we just bawled. I don't know if you remember that. It was just like, like ugly bawling. And I was like, what's the next line? Okay, I know it. And we prayed. And then we got into it. And I remember a pie graph and giving me a bunch of homework. And I was like, oh my God, this is really deep. This is beyond what I'm going through now. This is all the stuff that I've been running from, needing to do for my mental health that the professionals had been telling me to do for years. And I just ran away. I just disappeared on you. You remember?
You weren't ready.
Yeah,
That's okay. You weren't ready.
I wasn't ready. Ready. So, fast forward a little bit. I needed to survive. I found out that the best work, the most high-paying work, was out here. My parents had come out here to retire because it was a less expensive lifestyle out here. And I thought, I'm just gonna go there. I'm gonna like make some money, pull myself up by my bootstraps, and we'll be good. And in the process, I was still dealing with that deep depression. And I thought, okay, I've got to just get this stuff under control. And I started to do the CBT, the medical version of that. I started to see a psychologist regularly. I saw a psychiatrist. I got my meds under control. I stopped being non-med compliant. I would stick with it. Sure, I would want to pare back, and we would do that gradually. And still to this day, I feel amazing. I would love to stop it. I'm so tempted, but I'm like, no. So the healthcare system has an amazing role to play.
Yes.
Okay. But they got me to the point where I was surviving.
Yes.
I was working, making good living. I was competent. I wasn't poofing on anybody. I wasn't disappearing, all that kind of stuff. But they didn't take me further. And so then when I joined this gym, honestly, I didn't think anything of it because I thought, okay, I'm fat. I'm out of shape. I need to get that under control. And I remember we did the first group work or the first homework. And I was like,
growth work.
And I was like almost ready to throw up with both excitement and the realization, oh my God, she got me. She's like coaching me. And I didn't even get mentally prepared for that. I was like, oh, okay, you're in it. I'm in it now, right? I'm in it now. And I'm 41. Was I 42? I was 42 already, or almost 42. And I knew I'd not wasted. There's been lots of wonderful things in my life. Don't get me wrong, but I'd spent 40 plus years surviving or less, right? I didn't even want to live with this, to be honest. It was my upbringing that told me that you don't exit, right?
Yeah.
So I actually used to beg when I was in crisis for the doctors to put me in a psych unit.
Wow.
Put me somewhere.
Wow.
Because I hated every minute. I hated my thoughts. I would disassociate with myself. I don't know. There's like a whole thing where you disassociate. Like you don't even feel like you're part of your own body. Like you're watching yourself. Yeah. And I hated it. And
Coach Nelson, when he was going through his depression, he would the way he described being in a depression was like he was in a video game. Like he wasn't in his, like reality wasn't real. Like it was bad. It was bad. Yeah.
Like a horrible play or a horrible movie that you can't get out of and you don't know the lines to.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nobody directing you and it's a horror movie. I mean, that's really dramatic. At the worst of times it was like that, right? And so anyway, coming back to this, I had gotten past the worst of it, but I was still just surviving. And I knew, and I've known for a very long time, I've got to thrive. One of these days I have to thrive. I didn't know how, I didn't know where, why, but I knew that God wanted more for me because I could always remember back to being a child. And I was just I'm sorry guys, I told you I can talk.
No, I'm loving it. They're loving it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as a child, I was this like little wiry, strong, actually I'm strong again, by the way.
Yes. Look at those guns. Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
Just that way. Just that way.
Welcome to the gun show, folks.
But I was strong. I was that chick. Like I remember going to the hospital because I fell out of a tree because I went too high and like too far, and like, oh, can't breathe, and they brought me to children's hospital and stuff. So I was like wiry, full of life, loved art, and you know I would have these little blips, and I think you probably had seen this through me, about me through the years here and there, where that would be back,
Yes.
but then this like haze would come over me. And I
Yeah.
would just disappear. And the thing is, I would disappear. So people who didn't see me disappearing never saw that.
Yeah.
I knew how to put it on when it wasn't real.
Yeah.
And I knew how to really enjoy it when it was real, because those times were few and far between. Right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, and I was a strong and just exuberant child. And I knew that, you know, because nobody tells a child how to be. They're just them. Right. And I always held on to that picture. Like, that's who God wants me to be. I wonder what that looks like as an adult. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
fast forward back to, you know, when you started the growth work with us, what was that experience like? Because a lot of our, you know, guests here who are watching, they're new to the life coaching world. They don't really know kind of like what to expect. Maybe they had a small taste of it, you know, during the whoop. But what was that like for you?
Well, I had my pen and paper handy. You had told me, get yourself a journal, like just to write in. So I got myself a journal. As you can see, it's a very
pretty. Yes.
journal.
Yes.
Now I even have another one because
yes.
And everything that you said, I remember just being able to listen in to a coaching call once. And I took a bunch of notes then. That was the very first one. And I taped it into my journal after. Taped it into my journal after. And I just took notes. And everything that you said to do, I did. Everything you said to do, I did. And I would cry. And I would shake sometimes. And I would take deep breaths because I was like, oh my God, this is it. Hang on. This is it. This is it. Right. And so then we started to do Zooms with the other girls, the other ladies, excuse me. And I found that they were, you know, we all thought that we had these like strange and weak things about ourselves. And then one person would talk about it and the other one would go, oh my God, I was saying the same thing. Oh my gosh. And then you're crying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And it was really good. It wasn't anywhere as scary as you would think. And there was a lot of growth work, and you'd constantly be taking notes because like you'd have all these like, you know, like I'm even looking at the, you know, the first growth work that we did. You just told us about doing the 10 do why. And you talked about how fear and happiness both can motivate, and to have like, and to take fear and be like, no, you're going to be a good thing. I'm going to use you. I'm going to use you to get me over here, you know, kind of thing. And I would go, oh my gosh, I have to write that down. And so then, but I have to remember it. I have to see it. So I'm going to do it in color. You know what I mean? And I'd rewrite them and I'd start like putting them up places. And it started to be, I want to say obsession, but it started to be like
cathartic,
top of mind, cathartic, and top of mind always.
Yes.
You know, you'd say, is it Toma? Is it top of mind always?
That's right.
And these things were top of mind always. And I started to use it at work.
Amazing.
And, you know, like I used it at work for unmotivated clients.
Wow.
Right? You know, that I just said actually, and I think you had it in last night's Whoop, or the night before, and I used it, and then I saw it after again. I was like, hey, I just used that. But somebody was afraid of walking. I won't give all their details to get somewhere. And they're like, I think I'm going to fall. And I said, whether you think you can or you can't.
You're right. Yes.
So what are we thinking? And we walked together.
Amazing.
So, and there's just a bunch of these things, and then eventually they get ingrained, and then eventually they just they're second nature, and then you habit stack these things.
Yes.
You know, and then you've got other people, like in my household, you know, people are like, well, maybe I'll go with you on that run. You know, and next thing you know, I've got a partner running with me. I got my partner running with me. And then next thing you know, he quit smoking. Right? And I've been with him, we're on almost on 6 years, and he's been trying and trying and trying. I've been watching him go through withdrawals, and I've been like, just, it's been painful to watch. And I remember I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, high five. And he's like, to us. And I was like, no, you did it. And he's like, no, we did it. We did it. Because without you running, without you doing what you're doing, I wouldn't be doing this now.
Oh my God. I'm going to start crying, honestly.
Right.
That's amazing.
Seriously.
Honestly. And that's why R3 is, that's our mission. Yeah. Because we know that it starts with you guys. To us, you're that pebble. Once thrown into the pond, there's this beautiful ripple effect. And your partner is influenced. If you've got kids, they get influenced, and everyone's lives just start to change. And I'm sure Chris can also say, like, he sees a beautiful change in you, your transformation.
Yes.
So you want to share your results so far, both inside and out?
Okay. Wow. So I think I've spoken a little bit to the inside, but I will just say about that, you know, when I would look into the mirror, I would see sort of a diminished version of, like, I would think, like, deep down there was this tiny little person that was going to grow and flourish once I got out of this fat suit, you know, and so I always knew, even before doing the life coaching, maybe, you know, I just always knew I had to get through this. I had to get physically on the outside how I wanted to be on the inside. For me, it needed to be in that order.
Right.
So, so now what's happening is the inside is coming out more and more and more. And this is why I've gone on to here, and I've got, like, all kinds of stuff. You know, people that would know me from a long time ago know that I love portraits, painting portraits, drawing portraits. And Chris has been telling me, you got to do that. You got to sell that. And so now I'm, like, trying to, like, develop a business plan to do those kinds of things. Right. So this stuff is moving forward, and I'm using the principles that I'm learning towards there. We're learning principles for getting right with yourself and losing weight, but you can apply it in so many other areas. So that's the internal stuff. You know, I could go on and on, but externally here, I'm just going to grab, because the one day somebody was like, how much have you lost? And I was like, well, let me look back, and and I hadn't really done the math. And maybe you can correct me, I could be wrong on some of these, but because she keeps tabs. Holy cow, she keeps tabs.
I've got it all recorded. You all have a file.
Yes. And so, okay, so I lost, and this was as of June, when was this? This was September 26th, I believe it was, September 26th. So moving from June 2nd to September 26th. So I lost 31 pounds as of now.
Amazing.
And then we go, you know, on all the parts that she has you measure, and you got to do them exact. And across the shoulders, I had lost 5 inches. Wow. Across the chest, I had lost 4.25 inches. Now that was huge.
That is huge, because those babies have been a trouble for your back. Your back, right? Yeah.
Right. So I'd gone from, like, I had to buy specialty bras.
Yeah.
And I was an H cup. Okay.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm a double D. I'm a double D.
Double D.
And then I started getting self-conscious. I was like, I'm not part of the itty bitty.
No, you're
now,
way, no, far from. That's my club.
Which I can get used to, but you know, it's hard to get used to all these things. So then my arms, an inch off of each arm. Across my stomach was 3.25. My hips was -5. My butt -2 buttocks. My thighs were -1. Wow. So very little off of some of the areas that were always small, but you know,
you always had really toned thighs, but all the areas that you needed for it to come off, it came off.
Right. Yes, exactly that. So yeah, so that's been externally. And so, you know, people would just tell you, you don't even see it for a while for yourself. Like, you know, you see the numbers, but you look in the mirror, and that's going to take a little work too. And I know we'll work through that, but 100%. I look in the mirror and I know I'm smaller, but I don't know how much smaller. So people are saying, oh my gosh, you're so skinny. You're skinny now. You know, what are you doing? You're amazing, that sort of thing. Excuse me, puppy, guard dog here. Anytime anybody comes in. Yeah. So, and it takes a little while to get used to that you don't have to hide behind things anymore.
Yeah.
You know
You
what I
don't have
mean?
to wear your tablecloths anymore.
No, no tablecloth.
You
I've given
can
away like 2 big bags of tablecloths, like garbage bags.
and go back to like, because I know you're super active. So what's it
Right,
like now doing all the activities that you love to do with your partner?
right. Okay. So, um, the best way I can say it, if you've seen my Facebook recently, we went back to BC. It would have been a month ago-ish, and we went and did a really great hike. And it was a really hard hike. And at the beginning of it, it said, "This is steep and ambitious." You know, there's always these like guides that tell you what you can and can't do and what you should and shouldn't do. And it's not for beginners and all this kind of disclaimer stuff. And I thought, okay, because we did this last year. We've done going on 5-day hikes where you
Amazing.
go in and you can't come out with the big pack and everything. I didn't have that pack. I was like, okay, and you're fitter. You should be fine. And I was waiting for them now.
What?
I was waiting for them now.
Round of applause, guys.
Yes,
Come
yes,
on.
right.
Come
Chris was calling
on.
me Billy Goat Sonya because I was like just like jumping up the rocks. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
is awesome.
Yes, yes.
And
So yeah,
how, like you were just sharing with me before we actually hopped on,
right,
what wearing that, what 30-pound pack was like
right.
before and now.
Yes. So when we went on our 5-day last year, we were in amazing scenery, and it was all I could do to try to bring myself to the present, to like appreciate the scenery, because I was just in so much pain. Like my back was killing me, my sciatica. My left knee at the end of the thing was like twice the side of my right. Like it was just
Ouch.
so swollen up. And so like
Ouch.
whenever we'd get to camp, I'd be like, oh my God, thank God. And I catch my breath, and then I would enjoy myself for a little bit. And the next morning it would be like 7 a.m. and we're off again. And they're like, it should be 6 hours today. I'm like, oh my God, 6 hours. And you put everything on your back. And it was 30 pounds. That's what I was carrying. How much I took off. So the equivalent of me going, okay, I can carry 30 pounds. I was already doing that
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
So I was carrying 60.
Wow. It
So
must be like, this is nothing. Let's go.
right. Yeah, I can't wait till we put that weight on again,
Amazing.
on our
Amazing. Yes.
backs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've got like, we've got some girls who
Okay.
might be nervous
Right.
about joining R3 and the Revolve Life Method. How would you put them at ease? How would you, if even if, a friend of yours or any of your nurse friends were like, I don't know about this Revolve Life Method, what would you say
Right.
to them?
Well, I would say, look at me, right? So they've seen me for years, and everybody's always said, Sonya, you eat so healthy. Like you eat so incredibly healthy. And I did. I'd be making an almond bread, for example, and not reading how many calories are in making almond bread. There'd be like 300 calories in this little piece. I'd eat a ton of almond bread, but I'd bring it in like my lunch bag. I literally would bring in 2 lunch bags because I hated being hungry. Like, so I'd have my 2 lunch bags, and like one would be chock full of vegetables and fruit. And I'd be like, isn't that amazing? I think so great. And the girls would be like, you're so healthy. That's amazing. And still I was putting on weight. So I would say, just look at that. Look how hard I was trying, and I couldn't do it. And I would say, it's so supportive without putting you on the spot. So I remember doing some of the videos without going live, and I thought, okay, I can just get up in the morning, put my gym clothes on, walk out to my living room, and nobody has to see me, and I could have like troll hair, and nobody cared, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then there was that. There was no prep work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the other thing is, slowly, through the Zoom calls and watching the coaches, sometimes I'll be honest, sometimes the coaches look like heck. Like
Tired,
right?
like
Right?
exhausted, like it's actually really challenging.
Very challenging. Like I remember one time, actually recently, it was after like you had a family get together, whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
you had had all these carbs and you felt heavy,
Oh
and you
yeah.
got on, you're like, acknowledging, you're like, you shouldn't look pretty after a good workout. So
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, even though these are gorgeous people, nobody cares about how you're looking in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
They care about your effort.
Mm-hmm.
They care about you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think a darn person would put up with anybody criticizing anybody else. I don't think that would, they wouldn't get through the doors.
Yeah.
They wouldn't get through the doors. So eventually I started doing, the lives,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't care that, I had all my little ripples and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that, because so many people I know stay away from the gym because there's all the gym bunnies, and,
Yeah.
and they just feel so self-conscious. So there was none of that, and just the camaraderie in the community. I'm an extrovert. The other thing is I'm definitely an extrovert. And even through COVID, I felt like I was with everybody to
Yes,
see them
you
all.
were. Yeah,
Yes.
you were.
Yeah.
100%. We have an amazing family, and you are a huge part of that. Honestly, like such a big, big part of our family. And I am just in awe of your effort. And can we just give her some love, guys? Can you throw up some hearts for Sonya, for sharing her story, for sharing her journey, for sharing her accomplishments? I mean, I can't. I'm just in awe of how far you have come. And like I always say, I mean, yeah, of course, the weight loss is nice, but I don't really care about that
Yeah.
because that will come when we fix this, right?
Right.
When
Yeah.
we fix what's up there, that will come. And you are living proof of that. You're living proof of that. And
Yeah.
and you've proven that it's the mindset that matters the most.
Yeah. And just the willingness, just do what they say.
Yes.
Just do what they say, right? Because even if your willingness or your willpower isn't there yet, just do it. It'll come.
Yes.
It will come.
Yes.
Absolutely. You know.
Well, you are getting so many hearts. You're getting so much love from the community, and you are such an inspiration. Like the fact that you have inspired your partner to quit smoking, to now be as active as you, like it's amazing. And that's the whole thing about R3 is that when you are healthy, when you are fit, when you are strong in mind, body, and spirit, you are the best version of you for everyone else that loves you. And you literally like rub off on them and they want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
They want to be a part of it. And that's exactly, what's happened here is that, I'm sure like the nurses, they see you, they see this amazing, you're not hiding behind that fake smile anymore.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It's like a genuine happiness and smile and you don't have to hide anymore, right?
Right. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I love the fact too that it's bringing out things that you used to do that maybe you parked for a while, like your art, all those things. Because when you're more confident, you're like, you know what? I need to start doing that again. It's all of a sudden like you want to start doing more things and you start enjoying your life more, don't you?
Right, because you have these measurable things to do that bring results,
Yeah.
and they can be applied anywhere, right? So if I did this, if I was able to physically make this change and continue to make change that way, um, like all these other things that I just wish or imagine or dream or think that's for somebody else, I'm like, I can take those same things and see where it gets me and see where it gets me. And I don't have to just try to do it by myself. I'm going to do it with the whole tribe.
A huge tribe
Yeah.
who loves you and is giving you massive virtual hugs. I
Yeah,
am
her
just,
name's Gwen.
it's a hug and a kiss, honestly. Big wet one all the way from Saskatchewan. Guys, I am just so I'm so proud of this woman right here.
Thank you.
Honestly, like I can't. I'm as a friend, as a coach, as your mentor. I'm just in awe of you. You are truly an inspiration, and you have inspired so many women right now. And I said to Sonya before we even got on here, this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning. We've only gotten started.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm in awe, and I am honored and humbled to have helped you move through this journey, to help you get unstuck. And we've got a whole life ahead of us, and so many more things that you're going to accomplish and enjoy. And yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm so excited for you. So ladies, thank you guys so much for showing up and listening. What an amazing story, honestly. Such an inspiration. A quick reminder that tomorrow we've got 9 a.m. Are you going to join? Oh, wait, it's 7 a.m. your time.
I'm joining. I said yes, so now
Okay.
I have to.
Okay, guys, witness, okay? All you hear, Sonya is showing up because 9 a.m. my time. What time is it your time?
7.
7 a.m. She's up and she's working out with us. We are doing HIIT and Sculpt 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 7 a.m. in Saskatchewan. And Sonya's going to be sparkling with us. And then we've got Coach Pat. She's going to be here doing cooking lesson, which I saw you signed up for, right? So we've got the amazing Coach Pat. She's going to be doing a cooking lesson at 4 p.m. And then we've got another transformation story, Michelle, who's going to share her story and her transformation with R3. So once again, we love you so, so much. Sonya, thank you for taking the time to share your story. We love you. And I'll see you bright and early.
Troll hair on.
Troll hair and all. Because if you look pretty after a workout, you did not work out hard enough.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Thank you again. You're amazing. I love you so much. Have a great day. Bye, guys.